My name is Jenn Nickerson, and I am a web designer and developer. I'm really excited to take you on this brief journey through my brand. So let's get started. So, back in the early 2000s, I began learning everything I could about the web and how websites were built. After a while, I started to build sites and was lucky to be living in an area that had a thriving small business community. As I built sites for people, I found a real satisfaction in taking on the role of guiding my clients through the web design process. So, why the spider? Well, when I was growing up, I was petrified of spiders. And then, of course, I moved in with a housemate who had a bird spider that he kept as a pet in the living room. In order to walk through my house, I had to walk through my fears and overcome my fear of this huge spider. I learned that spiders can look intimidating, but they actually serve a very useful purpose. So, this for me is a symbol of how something that seems strange and scary, like learning how to code a website for the first time, can actually be beneficial and even kind of fun. I am very lucky because I get to live in a place where I am surrounded by nature. A quick walk out my front door, and I'm walking through conservation woods where I can see anything from a coyote to an owl, and then I can be standing on the beach watching the full moon rise. It's really amazing, and I'm a firm believer in using what the universe gives to you. Since all of these colors are constantly occurring around me, I like to use them for inspiration. Another big thing for me is that all these great children's books that my dad would find for me at the library. And one of my earliest childhood memories is a book that had these really simple pen and ink illustrations, but for accents, they would use the same bright pink and orange colors that I have in the middle of my palette here. When it comes to typography, I like to play off of whatever mood the client is trying to communicate. Sometimes it's a historical society, or it might be a music festival that wants to give off this funky 60s vibe, or it could be a very fashion forward personal stylist. For me, I liked these two font face typefaces, Sen and Sulfur Point, in combination. To me, Sen has a very cool thing going on with these chunky serifs and these kind of retro curves that you see on the vowel A and then the T. And Sulfur Point also has some very rounded vowels and these very clean lines. So for me, that's something that's going to make it very easy for people to read when it's a paragraph of text. As for elements, when I was designing a lot of legal and medical sites, people wanted to use sort of dark, somber colors, and I get that. But for me, I gravitate towards work that lets me really play with color. It's always been fascinating to me that animals can really use color to communicate, and flowers also use color to attract pollinators. And I like to mimic nature, and I wanted to use color as the sort of language. A small but important element, like a button, can be a really fun moment, as well as attracting the user's eye and encouraging interaction on a website. Beyond palettes and colors and fonts, I also strive to create digital experiences that are infused with my visual values. It could be a walk through the woods, or the exuberance of a street festival, or a beautiful architectural detail. They can all come together to inform and inspire my work. I want to create visual delight for people who interact with a website that I've designed, as well as being a useful piece of information. So, thank you for coming along on this journey with me. I hope you had fun and now have an understanding of my process and what inspires my work.